Hey everyone, Mitch coming in for the Commander Core Studio. Welcome to the show. So on today's episode, I've got a spicy Commander deck for you around a brand new, incredibly popular Commander. I mean, this thing is skyrocketing in its popularity. Let's jump into it. And you might have already guessed that I'm talking about, or you saw the thumbnail or the title or the description. But yeah, it's the Necrobloom. The Necrobloom is a crazy popular Commander right now. And there's some really cool things that you can do with it. A 2/7 Ledger Creature Plant for 4 mana in Abzan. Whenever a land enters battlefield under control, create a 0/1 green plant creature token. If you control 7 more lands, though with different names, you get a 2/2 black zombie creature token instead. And on top of that, land cards in your graveyard have Dredge too. So I'm going to just tell you right now that because this is a budget deck, again, every single card outside the commander is less than $1. It's not a Gitrog combo deck because Gitrog is not nearly budget. So there you go. That's the cool thing that you can do if that's your thing with the dredging. Basically, every single one of your lands is a deck more salvage, which is really cool. There's still things we can do with that. Still ways to say, oh, okay, cool, yeah. I'll get rid of this land, get this land in my graveyard, mill some more, get cards in my graveyard. Lovely. Do some crazy things. That being said, also, I mean, this is just a crazy good landfall commander to say, get a bunch of lands into play, which you're essentially guaranteed to hit your land drop as well, since you can just dredge to make sure you get another land if you need to. And of course, that could be like in Evolving Wilds, which allows you to landfall twice. Not ramping, you're just staying at the same amount of lands, but you're landfalling twice, so you can get that trigger multiple times. Super easy to get to that 7 lands of different names. We'll talk about some lands here in a bit that can help out with that. But yeah, you can do amazing things with this one. Go so wide so quickly that your opponent's heads will spin. Let's jump into some cards that work well with this deck tech, talking about it in different tactics. First up, though, I will tell you that the total cost of this deck, Gordon Moxfield, is $28 on the dot. With a commander that's around $3 or so, it's not too bad. Pretty budget friendly right there. Again, every single one of these cards is less than $1. Let's jump into those tactics. First up, whole lot of ramp. Let's start things off with, first up, of course, there's Wayfarer's Bauble. Pay 2 tap, go get a basic land and a play. Tap to create turn 1 play. Rampant Growth, the OG ramp spell. Basic and a play, tap for 2 mana. Edge of Autumn, exact same thing if we got 4 or fewer lands. If not, cycle it away by sacrificing a land. Farseek, go get, a plains or swamp, because you're not getting a forest with this one. That being said, Secure Tribe Elder can go get you that swamp if you need it. Basically, Rampant Growth on a body. Sorry, Steve, you're not going to stick around very long, as usual. Cultivate, though, go get 2 basics. 1 goes into play tap, 1 goes into our hand. Grow from the Ashes, you can kick it if you want to. If you do, hey, you get 2 lands into play untapped. If not, you get 1 to play untapped. Regardless, great ramp there, and great be able to utilize that mana right away. Harrow, utilize mana right away as well. Sacrifice 1 land, get 2 basics, going to play untapped at instant speed. Harvest Season, my goodness. Take advantage of our go wide strategy with this 3 mana amazing ramp spell. Search live for the X base land cards or X the number of tapped creatures you control. For those cards on the battlefield, tap, then shuffle your library. Swing out with your army, and then all of a sudden, go get like 10 basics and a play tapped. Gross, to make even more army. So there you go. Primal Grove. Speaking of utilizing your army, though, and sacrifice a creature to kick this, go get a basic, or again 2 if you kicked it into play tapped. Next up, we've got Roiling Regrowth. Sacrifice 1, go get 2 basics in play tapped this time though, basically Harrow, but slightly slower. Search tomorrow, another great turn 1 play. See, we can actually suspend this for 2 and 1 green mana essentially. So yeah, just wait a little bit. All of a sudden, on that 3rd turn, play that land in a play for free, essentially. Basic land in a play untapped. What's not to love about that? Springbloom Druid, basically Roiling Regrowth on a body. ETB, sacrifice 1 basic, or any land, I guess, technically. And then go get 2 basics in a play tapped. Explosive Vegetation, the OG, 4 mana, ramp 2. This is great. 2 basics in a play tapped. Yeah, great landfall there. We've got a lot of these. We also have Invasion of Vendetta card, basically the exact same thing, but on a battle. The backside, once we take it out, is going to be a 4/4 Vigilant Hasty Elemental. That can also tap for 1 mana of any color as well. So this can be like a 4 mana ramp 3 in a way. Migration Path, another great Explosive Vegetation. Basically that card, but you can cycle away for 2 if you don't need that. Vastwood Surge, you can kick it and get 2 counters on all your creatures when you do so, which, again, for your army is going to be lovely. You're like, oh, I've got 20 zombies. They're 2/2s. Now they're 4/4s. Take out my opponents in no time at all. Speaking of which, Perilous Forays, an incredible card with this commander. Pay 1, sacrifice a creature, go get a basic into play. And then do it again. And again, because again, every single time you get a land into play, your commander says, hey, make a creature token. Hey, make a creature token. Hey, make a creature token. So you can basically get every single one of your basics, if you want to, out of your deck just by putting mana into this. This Renewal, another great ramp spell as well. Go get 3 basics into play, tap for 6 mana, and also, sure, gain 7 life while you're at it. Now, you might think we're done ramping, but we're not quite done just yet. Tactic number 2, land rights. First up, Landfall with, some lovely ramp here. Colony Heart Expedition. Landfall basically 3 times with this. Get 3 counters on it. Remove those, sacrifice it. Essentially, Explosive Vegetation, but for just 2 mana. 2 basics into play, tapped, which helps with even more landfall triggers for other things, which is lovely. Tireless Provisioner, somehow budget-friendly right now with all of its reprints. Landfall, whenever a land enters battlefield control, create a food token. No, treasure token. I mean, you can make the food token if you really need to, if you really need some life. Great, but if not, you're going to be making a treasure token basically every single time with this. Your landfall is crazy in this deck. When you do so, you're getting creature tokens with, well, your commander and other things we'll talk about here in a little bit, but also you're getting treasures to then play more things, to then ramp further, to then get more lands into play, to then do this, to then do that. Your opponent's heads are going to be spinning with the value that you are making with these kinds of cards. But now to move on to tactic number 3, land a blow, because like I kind of alluded to earlier, our commander is not the only one that can help us make an army. Emiria Angel, a 3/3 Angel for 4 mana with flying. Land enters battlefield under control, you may create a 1/1 white bird creature token with flying. So some evasion, which is absolutely lovely. On top of that, we got Feldar Retreat. We can also make more 2/2s to keep our zombies, well, from being lonely. They've got some friends now. They got some cat beasts that are 2/2s as well. Or you can get a counter each creature control, and those creatures gain vigilance until end of turn. So, yeah, go wide, go tall, whatever you need to do. Decimate your opponents with this amazing card. Creature of Area, also a very good card as well, like a lesser Feldar Retreat, essentially. Whenever a land enters battlefield control, you choose 1, make a 1/1 white core ally creature token on the battlefield, or creatures you control get +1/+1 until end of turn. So a temporary pump effect instead of like, hey, counter plus vigilance. Slightly worse, but still nice to be able to have that pump effect. Or yeah, just make creatures go wide, do crazy things. Or go wide and go tall with Maya, Bredegard Protector, a 2/3 that gives other creatures +1/+1. So again, a nice Anthem for you. On top of that though, land enters battlefield, make a 1/1 Human Warrior creature token. So again, go wide and go slightly taller as well. But again, that like little bit of pump can come in really huge again when you're like 30 creatures in play and you're like, oh, an extra power means a lot. Spore Mound. A 3/3 landfall, make a sapling, not a fungus, those are technically different. A 1/1 sapling though, every single time. Again, it's going to seem like, oh, it's just a 1/1. But all of a sudden, you've got like 20 of those in play. And then also all of a sudden, you've got ways to pump them as well. Your opponents are going to be very scared of your tiny little saplings, which are not so tiny anymore. Zendikar Royal, though, hey, make some 2/2s. Make some 2/2 elementals, again, to keep your cat beasts, and your zombies entertained with your now elementals in play as well that are also 2/2s, which, of course, can become bigger throughout the game. You've got all these ways to make so many tokens. And, of course, the biggest of your tokens are going to be with the Rampaging Baloths. A 6/6 with Trample that costs 6 mana. Whenever land is battlefield under control, you may make a 4/4 beast. So yeah, twice as large as a zombie and get even larger, well, here in a little bit when we talk about those cards. But first, we must talk about growing your zombies. With tactic number 4, Zomb Uprising. Lord of the Accursed is a great one. Again, throwing in some like zombie tribal type things in this deck. Yeah, you can lean heavier into if you really want to, or just lean like this way, where you're like, oh, okay, cool, yeah, I've got my zombie army in play because it was really easy for me to get to 7 lands with different names. Good for me. All of a sudden, my zombies get a little pump, so instead of being 2/2s, they're 3/3s, which is lovely. On top of that, I can spend 2 mana, and yes, I've got mana to spend. I'm in green. I've got a lot of ramp to make all zombies gain menace until end of turn. Keep in mind that does help your opponent's menace zombies, but that doesn't matter unless they're attacking each other. Then you might activate that. Regardless, making it so your zombies are harder to block is amazing on top of pumping them. So get them through. Hit your opponents for a lot. What's not to love about that? Speaking in through, Vizier of the Scorpion. Your opponents have the choice to block, but they might not. 1/1 enters the battlefield at mass 1. So you make a little tiny zombie army. Good for you. On top of that, though, zombie token control of Death Touch. So, yeah, your zombies are super deadly. Doesn't matter what's blocking them is going to be taken out, blocking or blocked by them. So it really helps you on defense and on offense, helps you on both sides of that. A crazy good card for you. But in my opinion, there is one card that stands above the rest, and that is the Golden Pig of this deck. The number 1 card ever 99, and that is Shepherd of Rot. A card from my childhood that I feared way back then, and I still fear now. unless I'm playing it. Then I guess you can still fear it because you can take yourself out with this. But you're not going to want to do that, unless sometimes. A 1/1 zombie cleric for 2 mana in black tap. Each player loses 1 life for each zombie in play. Keep in mind, number 1, this does count your opponent. So if you're playing against a zombie tribal deck over there, keep that in mind. Make sure you take that into calculation. That being said, this is another great way, another great avenue to victory, and one that can be pretty unexpected, where you're like, okay, I've got this massive army, I'm going wide, I'm swinging, your opponent's like, okay, cool, as long as I keep my defenses up, I should be able to survive. And all of a sudden you play this like, oh my gosh, because you might have 20 or so, maybe even more zombies in play. You tap this and you wipe out everything. When it comes to everything, I mean like all your opponents. So yeah, being able to just get your opponents to less life than you means that you can utilize this to take them out quite easily, quite efficiently, and quite effectively. On top of that, keep in mind that, yeah, this might make players a little bit salty, but if you're gonna get taken out and you have enough zombies in play to take everyone out, including yourself, you're like, you know what? Instead of losing, this game's a draw. Everybody loses. Tap and we're done. I mean, I'm not saying you should do that, but it's an option. Regardless, a great alternative way for you to win outside of just smacking your opponents with all your zombies, which is amazing. But yeah, this is just a more direct approach to be like, 20 zombies in play. Let's just lose 60 life in total for my opponents. 20 life for myself too, but that's lovely. All right, goodbye. Shepherd of Rot, you're amazing. Golden pick of the deck. Moving on, this is the Anthem. Throw your hands up. Here we go, Intangible Virtue. Enchantment for 2 mana and white. Creature tokens you control get ++1 and have Vigilance. What's scarier than an army of zombies? Or I guess I keep saying zombies, but yeah, you can have some plants early too, but you're probably going to get to the zombies pretty quickly. Vigilant zombies or plants? Vigilant, all of your creature tokens that you're going to be making, that also get a nice pump effect. Again, so low to the ground, just 2 mana. Pump your creatures, swing freely with them. What's not to love about that? Also, another low to the ground Anthem for you. Pretty specific though, but it's still very good. Enters battle features a creature type. Control the chosen type, get ++1. Again, you're going to be going so wide with zombies. Get this low to the ground enchantment out and pump your team. Etching of the Chosen. Again, another tribal specific one. ETB choose a creature type. Again, most likely zombies. Creature totem type get ++1. On top of that, though, pay 1, sacrifice creature totem type. Target creature you control gains indestructible until end of turn. So a great way to say, oh yeah, I can just sacrifice a zombie here, there, and everywhere to be able to actually save my commander in whatever situation I'm in. Absolutely lovely. Save your key pieces with your team. Absolutely lovely. Radiant Destiny, another great tribal Anthem effect for you. And on top of giving ++1, though, gives Vigilance as well. So being able to swing free of those creatures can be absolutely huge. Speaking of swinging, though, Dictative Heliod, surprise your opponent. Surprise! Don't they love surprises? Not in Commander, usually. Flash, creature control +2/+2, 5 mana. Yeah, a great Anthem effect that, again, doubles the power of our zombie army. And on top of that, surprisingly, out of nowhere does so. So again, helps us with blocks, help us when we're attacking. If your opponents are like, I have calculated my blocks perfectly, and I shall destroy your army. And you're like, no. Now your army is destroyed. No! Super destroy their army, though, with Collective Blessing. Creature control +3/+3. A massive, giant Anthem for all your creatures. Again, your little 2/2 zombies now are 5/5s. Every single time a land comes into play. Gross! Next up, though, tactic number 6, dig deep, and dig deep we shall. With our creatures, we can just say, you know what, I'm sorry, zombie. You've done your job. You go away for now. Instant for a single black mana, Corrupted Conviction. Sacrifice 1 creature, draw 2 cards. Absurdly efficient. Village Rites, again, the exact same thing. Super efficient. Undead Augur, take advantage of your zombies. Again, whenever it or the zombie you control dies, you draw a card, you lose 1 life. 1 life is nothing in Commander for 1 card. You got 40 life. Draw the cards you want. Also draw the cards you want with Fecundity. My goodness, this is so good. Whenever a creature's put an opponent in an opponent, I almost said that. Your opponent's creatures count too. I was just gonna say that. So whenever a creature's put in a grave from play, that creature's controller may draw a card. It counts your opponents, okay? Sure. It counts your opponents, but you're going to be taking the most advantage of this, okay? You've got so many creatures. You got so many zombies. You got so many other creature tokens. You're going to be going so wide. You're going to be drawing an absurd amount of cards with this. You're not going to be upset when your creature can take it and be like, oh no, my zombie died. Draw a card. Thank you. Oh, a land. Cool. I make 2 more zombies. Yay. Oh, because it was evolving while I had to tap and sacrifice it. Okay, anyways, moving on. Painful Truths. 3 mana, lose 3 life, draw 3 cards. 1 life for 1 card. Always worth it. Read the Bones. Scry 2, lose 2, draw 2 for 3 mana. Lovely. Tireless Tracker. Land enters the battlefield. You make a clue token. Lovely. On top of that, whenever sacrificing clues, you get counters on this. So yeah, you can actually get a lot of clues very quickly with this. And then yeah, draw cards we need to. Trove Warden. Whenever you land in this battlefield under control, exile target permanent card, value 3 or less in your graveyard. That includes lands, keep that in mind. Whenever it dies, put each permanent card, exile with it on the battlefield under control of that card's owner. You can get a lot of value out of this. An absurd amount of value. Get your low to ground things back out. And of course, yeah, just hyper ramp with lands too if you need to. Multivine Reclamation though, hey, you know how Fecundity draws their opponent's cards? This one does not. 5 mana in Golgari. Whenever creature control dies, you gain 1 life, draw a card, pad your life total, and draw a ton of cards. Shamanic Revelation, you're going wide, draw a card for each of those creatures. On top of that, again, those anthems, you can get all their power at 4 or greater. And when you do so, gain 4 life for each one of your creatures too. That's amazing. Territory Color, we have a landfall trigger that can gain us some card advantage as well though. Whenever a land enters battlefield under control, look at the top card of your library. If it's a creature card, you may reveal it in your hand. If you don't put that card in your hand, you may put it in your graveyard. So again, you can put more and more cards in your graveyard too if you don't need those cards, or again, if it's a land and you want to be able to dredge too, you can do that as well. Moving on, next tactic, away with you. Goodbye to all your opponent's things. Destroy their artifacts or enchantments with this, Nature's Claim, and they gain 4 life. Who cares? 1 mana, gain 4 life. Yeah, not a big deal at all. Broken Bond, destroy an artifact or enchantment. Get an extra land for your hand right on the battlefield as well. So ramp on top of all your landfall synergies. Lovely. Despark, permanently get rid of something with mana value 4 or greater by exiling it. Anguish Unmaking, can't believe this is budget friendly somehow. Exiling non-land permanent, you lose 3 life. Any non-land permanent for 3, that's amazing. Generous Gift, destroy any permanent. They get a 3/3. Who cares? Take your 3/3. I don't care. 3 mana, just destroy anything at instant speed. Cleansing Nova, choose 1, very flexible. Do destroy all creatures, destroy all artifacts and enchantments, whatever you need to do that. Most likely, artifacts and enchantments. Abomination Angel. Admonition Angel, if I could talk. 6/6 Angel of Flying, landfall, landers battlefield control. You may exile target non-land permanent other than this one. When this leaves the battlefield, all those things come back. So it's a good temporary way to get rid of a lot of things. Austere Command, permanently get rid of things though. Destroy artifacts, enchantments, small creatures, big creatures, whatever you need to do. You get to choose 2 of them. Very flexible, can help you out in so many situations. Butcher Malakir, again, you're going super wide with all your creatures. All of a sudden, those get taken out. Your opponents have to sacrifice creatures for every single one of your creatures that dies. Absolutely incredible. Speed of which, Hour of Reckoning, a one-sided board wipe for you. Convoke it out, so you basically cast this for free in many scenarios, or at a very reduced cost. Destroy all non-token creatures. So again, your tokens stay in play. Decree of Play, destroy everything, destroy absolutely everything, but turn it into card advantage. Draw a card for each creature destroyed this way, or you can cycle it away if you need to do that. When it comes to lands, though, I just want to point out a few. First up, Baron Moor. Keep in mind these cycling lands are quite fun in the way they work with this commander. You can just like cycle and dredge the card too. Say it is cycle, dredge it. Cool, there you go. Just actually, self-mill kind of repeatedly with that. You also have ones like Broker's Hideout. Yeah, go get lands. Any of these kind of like fetch land type cards you really want with this kind of a commander because you get extra fetches. So yeah, anything go fetch lands can be absolutely great. Deceptive Landscape, again, our new kind of fetch cycling land, whatever it's called, can be great as well. Escape Tunnel, we get more and more of these. Volume Wilds, of course, lots of great, amazing lands that work really well with this commander. You got a lot of cards to pick from and a lot of good ones that are very budget friendly now too. But now as this episode is coming to a close, let me know your thoughts are on this deck in the comments below. Check out that deck list link in the description if you're interested in it. And of course, as always, thanks again and have a good one. This show and episodes like this one are possible thanks to viewers like you. If you're looking for an easy way to help support this show, make sure that you like, share, and subscribe. Also, hit that bell notification icon so you don't miss any new episodes. You can also go check out our playmats and other merchandise at thecommandersquarters.com. We also have a ton of brand new t-shirt designs in stock, so make sure you check out those as well. Another easy way to support this show is with our TCG Player affiliate links. So whether you're buying a deck or individual cards, you can use this general link right here or one in the description. And the final way that you can support this show is by supporting us directly by becoming a patron. There are many benefits to being a patron, and I truly couldn't do this without all of their support.